hundreds of servicemen returning from the war and thousands more personnel stationed at RAF bases around the country sustaining horrendous injuries, the RAF looked to increase the number of hospitals around Britain, one of which was built here in Lincolnshire, on the grounds of Nocton Hall. Despite being completed in 1940, the hospital here wouldn't see its first patients until November of 1947 due to the building being deemed too small to fulfill its intended purpose. Instead, Roresby Asylum was chosen as its replacement, curiously, somewhere else that we've also investigated a number of times previously. After the war, in the autumn of 1947, RAF Nocton Hall Hospital officially opened and welcomed in predominantly servicemen and women stationed at the numerous air bases situated around Lincolnshire. During this time, as well as military personnel and their families, the site also began treating civilians in the local area before closing in 1983 and being leased out to the US government a year later for use during the Gulf War. With only 35 casualties being treated here for the duration of the Gulf War, the 1,300 staff originally flown in were posted elsewhere, leaving only 13 remaining personnel on site to keep the facility running until it was handed back to the RAF in 1994. And since 1995, the entire complex has been left abandoned. Today, the site is privately owned, however tours of the former hospital are available for a small fee, the proceeds of which go towards protecting the buildings and preventing them falling into a further state of decay. We arrived on an extremely wet and windy October afternoon, and were greeted by Mary, who conducts the tours of the hospital, and we were shown around a portion of the enormous 44-acre site, and it was during this tour, much to our surprise, we began experiencing strange activity.
We can head down to the surgery so we can have a look there and just get a feel, and that might be another place where you want to...
talking down that way as I was filming. That's why I stopped, because I was like...
You heard talking?
Yeah, it was down the end, I thought.
Did you see anything, or
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Are you a hearer or a seer? Or both? Do you
Either
sometimes see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends where we are.
No, I heard it about...
Do you hear it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mention it at the
And
time.
yet you class yourself as skeptics.
Well, yeah, skeptics until we see or hear stuff.
Literally, when I was crouched there filming that way...
You heard it as well?
I heard...
Like,
a man's talking.
yeah, down that way.
To be the Royal Air Force RAF Nocton Hall Crest. To be the Royal Air Force RAF Nocton Hall Crest.
Was it just a man?
I heard it like once and then after, like
Yeah.
a few seconds after again.
Just a man, I didn't
Yeah,
hear
just a man.
anything else. It
Okay.
sounded like one person.
Yeah, down the end. That's weird.
And the reason why
I was standing there filming that, so...
I had some photographers that came around,
Mhm.
and the next day he emailed me, and his mum had come with him. He emailed me and he said, besides the grey lady, is there anything else? I says, well, why? What did something happen?
Mhm.
And they said my mum saw a man, appeared to be maybe a doctor and a woman, a nurse.
Yeah.
And they were speaking in hurried tones, but hushed tones. And they saw them at the top there where the doors are. And then they started to walk away down this corridor, and then they disappeared.
Right.
So that's when you said a man's voice.
Yeah, it's 100%.
The voice, it sounded as if like if someone was down there trying to shout to someone else.
Okay.
Like if you hear like people like on a building site shouting across to someone
Very
else.
much like trying to get someone's attention.
Yeah. Is that you? That wasn't you?
I think it might have, I don't know if it's a pigeon, but it sounded kind of like a cry.
Yeah, I thought
It did. I heard it as well.
I don't think it's a pigeon. It's,
Yeah. Like that.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen any pigeons or anything in here, in any of the buildings.
But yeah, she's right, it was like a...
yeah.
Like voices go behind.
From where I was, it literally sounded like it came from like you.
Yeah.
I don't know where else that could have come.
You do get claws on a windy day, you do get claws standing down here. Because of the coastal coming down.
Yeah.
And you will get squirrels running along the roof lines, and sometimes if the trees, the branches knocking on the roof, so there are sounds. But even I know there are some sounds, like that sound
That
is
didn't-
different. I've never heard that before.
What was that? Said it again.
Like that sound
That
is
didn't-
different. I've never heard that before. Like that sound
That
is
didn't-
different. I've never heard that before.
What was that? There's people talking. That's full on people talking. Is there people?
Sounded further up there then.
I thought it came from that.
We continued with our tour of the hospital, with at one point Sophie even hearing the sound of footsteps approaching her. In hopes that activity would continue to occur throughout the rest of the evening, we set up multiple locked off cameras and prepared ourselves for our investigation.